Hey, boys and girls, and Mom, Ken Smith, World Headquarters of all of Texas. Nice, quiet evening down here tonight. So, couple things, reminders. So, number one, the Blue Santa Tournament this Saturday, Outlaw Outdoors here on Sam Rayburn. I'll talk more about this next week, but Clint and Stacy, the owners of Outlaw Outdoors, are doing this 100% out of the goodness of their own hearts. The benefit is the Jasper County, I believe it's the Sheriff's Association. And Blue Santa is, as it would make sense, right? Police officers acting as Santa. We are going to raise a bunch of money. And I say we, I've gotten involved, but those guys did all the heavy lifting. I've had a couple of folks help out quite a bit, and I appreciate that. You guys know who you are. But some great prizes. Matter of fact, so there's a online auction you can get into right now. Go to the Outlaw Outdoors website, or excuse me, Facebook page, and you can bid right now. There's a guide trip with Daryl Gleason, ocean pony hunting with Daryl Gleason. And if the bid got up, I think to the level it's already at, he was going to throw a sponsor rod in there. There's a really nice rifle. There's a ram hunt. There's a red stag hunt. I think there's a third hunt in there. There's raffle prizes. Guys, this is a crazy blowout. You can come to so you can bid online. I think the bidding online closes Friday night. And then you can bid on site too. There'll be a live auction. The silent auction is this. You can buy raffle tickets. It's just a great deal, and it's basically $60 entry fee or 2 toys. There's a $100 side pot. That's 100% payback. This is strictly to help our community down here, for the kids of our community, to help them have a great Christmas. So that's one thing I wanted to remember to tell you guys. Second thing. Michael of Jones Trolling Motors sent me a note today. They've got a special Black Friday sale, a Garmin LiveScope system. That'll be the transducer and the head unit with a $200, I believe it's a mail-in rebate. I'll post it right here so you can see it. That's another great deal, so reach out to those guys if you're interested in a LiveScope system. And third thing, some of you guys know I got my start on YouTube by doing navigational videos, mostly of Rayburn. And you're going to see today's report is way up the Angelina River, like 10 miles above Marion's Ferry Landing. You cannot run up there where I went. It was about an hour idle to where I got to. I went up there to remind myself when the water gets back to pool, the lake's about 4.5 feet low, to remind myself the lines I could run to get up there. I had a trail on an old boat, and when I sold the boat I lost the trail, or I didn't transfer it properly or something. So that's what I went up there for, but I did a little bit of fishing, and fishing's pretty fun up there, a lot of little fish. So I'm going to share that with you, but let me just say to you, I had a lot of guys ask me on my navigation. So there's 2 playlists of navigational videos of Rayburn. If you don't know Rayburn, you need to go watch those, especially now before you come down here, because parts of Rayburn are very hazardous right now. And in the last, or one of the last videos, I talk about showing you how to run above the 147 bridge. And what I discovered as I tried to do that video is I just can't do it. There's just probably above the 147 bridge, a mile above the 147 bridge up, the lake is, I'm going to say, 80% timber. And so there's no straight lines. You're running cuts. In some places you're running places where you just know it's safe to run because you've been up there when the water was 4 feet low. And like I did the other day, I idled a stretch from the back of the canyons out to the long cut so that when there's 4 feet of water on it, and I picked a line where I couldn't see anything sticking out of the water, I idled it, I bumped some stuff, but I know now when the water comes back up 4 feet, I can run that. I've got a line to run through there. And I've done that all over the lake, and that's what you see me run. But those are not boat lanes. Those are just places I know it's safe to run, little short 2 mile stretches when the water's at pool. So I say all that to tell you there is a boat lanes card you can buy online for most units that'll get you within about 1.5 miles of the 103 bridge up the Angelina arm. It'll take you up the Atoyac arm, but I don't trust that card, by the way, all the way up the Atoyac arm. That's just me. You might trust it, and other guys could argue with me. But if you want to go up there, you need to go up there now and learn how to idle it so you can run it later. And that's what I was doing. So I was just up there goofing off, fishing a little bit of pre-fishing for the Blue Santa tournament. But I know the Blue Santa tournament, it would waste too much time to get up there. So mostly this was just me up there with the water low. I had an opportunity to spend some time, and I thought I would share the fishing with you guys. So Here's what that area looks like. You can figure out how to get up there yourself, because that's all I'm doing right now is figuring out how to navigate up there. And it's pretty fun fishing. It's totally different. You'll see the water color's totally different than the rest of the lake, as is the look of the water of the look of the land up there. So here we go. Solid little keeper. Right where he should be. Right in the mouth of that little drain. That was the other side of that same drain. So I get asked constantly about coming up the river, and I'm gonna say I'm 11 miles above Marion's Ferry. And by the way, so some of this I would normally run, a lot of it I would not. This is way off the beaten path. You can see the water's dirty. If I were to leave Castle Boykins, no, if I were to leave Humphreys, well, from Marion's Ferry, it took me about 40 minutes to get here. Now, again, that's because I'll idle a little and run a little. At Pool, I would run more of it, but it would still be 20 minutes up here at Pool for me. Now, there's some guys that would run right to this spot and shut down. I'm not one of those guys, but this is probably an hour and 15 to 30 minutes away from Humphreys in good weather. And, you know, look, all I've called those two little guys up here, I've just started fishing, but you can catch a lot of small fish up here. And on occasion you can catch some good ones. There's a lot of hyacinth on the bank, and there's a lot of giant salvania on the bank because the lake's low. The lake's 4 feet low. But it's fun because you're up here. There's nothing up here but me and some duck hunters and a couple of locals. So it's fun to kind of get away from the crowd and fish something that is so different than what you'd normally fish up here. But pretty fun. I'm gonna fish around a little bit more. You know, it's so late in the morning. We had a big thunderstorm this morning. And by the time you get here, half your day's shot. But I get a lot of questions about it, so I thought I'd come up here and fish around a little bit this morning and just see what's going on. I don't think there's any way in the world you would tournament fish up here right now. This is a lot more of a springtime and summertime deal, but we're gonna check it out, see what happens. Oh boy. Now that one smoked it. Bonk. And took my worm away from me. $100 pack. That's the only way to buy the little blue flake worm is in the 100 pack. blue flake worm was enough for him. That's the second fish I've caught off that lay down, and the third bite. That's a keeper. Second worm I've used on that lay down. Too much fun, boys and girls, too much fun. So I throw my little blue flake worm, by the way, on up here on 20-pound Seaguar because I can get away with it. 3/8 ounce, 6-inch tungsten sinker with a bobber stopper, one of their, they call them pegs, which are bigger and heavier duty than most you buy. I do let the sinker swing above it in this case because I'm flipping laydowns and I like that sinker to fall and it looks like that worm's chasing him. 20-pound Invis-X, 6/8 to 1, and then I'm using that little Magnum jig rod. You guys, it's really become, I've got kind of 2 or 3 rods that I use for just a whole bunch of things, and this is one of them. This is my frog rod. This is my shallow flipping rod. It's really a rod I've gotten to really like a lot. Getting bigger. That was out here on one of about 2.5, 3 feet of water. Call him a shot. I pulled that worm over that limb and I saw that fish flash sideways on it and miss it. That's why I turned around there and said, I'm calling my shot. Very nice. That creek, that river swings right up here and there's a slough with a couple pieces of junk around it. That's the kind of places they like to be. That was fun. Solid fish. Same thing, just the mouth of a slough. A big hunk down. Pretty fish. Kablook. Well, if you can find horizontal wood, that's what they want. They really, I've caught a few on the standing stuff, but they really, if you can find a piece of horizontal wood in 3 or 4 feet of water up here, you're gonna get bit. Fun stuff. Well, that one was balled up in it too. You saw I just set the hook and kept pressure on her. 20 sound
seaguar is pretty stout. I actually bent that hook out a little bit. Got lucky. A fish you probably never catch on tournament day. You straighten the hook out. But there's something to be said about catching them with no adrenaline, because you just, you know, no telling how much more excited I'd have gotten on that fish tournament, gotten carried away pulling on it, versus just loading up on it and letting her swim out of her spot there. A lot of fun. You know, I get asked a lot the difference between a 360 and a LiveScope. Sorry. You know, I get asked a lot the difference between a 360 and a LiveScope, and this is one thing that is really easy to tell with a 360 versus with the LiveScope. So I'm fishing the mouth of this drain, as you can see right here, and what I'm trying to do is fish that drop, and I can see right there on my LiveScope that I am one boat length, which is right where that tree is. I don't know how much of that y'all could hear, but I can see that I am one boat length, and actually there's that leaning tree. So I'm a boat length away from it, and that makes it so much easier. You can't really see that on a 360 like you can on a LiveScope. So fishing the breaks, oops, there's my jig right there. Fishing the breaks is a whole lot easier with the LiveScope than it is with the 360.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. So part 2 of the Phoenix PHX video will be next week. That'll be the grading of the PHX, and there's a little bit of footage I haven't shared with y'all on the PHX, including some running footage. And then I will get up next week, Brian and I fishing the Blue Santa tournament. I think Brian and I are going to fish it, so we'll get the Blue Santa tournament actually fishing footage up of probably us getting our brains beat out. But you know what? You can't win if you don't try. So we'll give it a shot, and hopefully we get lucky. And here we go. We'll see you guys again here in just a couple days. Thanks for tuning in.